Thailand and Cambodia have finally clashed. Following a border landmine explosion, military forces from both sides engaged in exchanges of fire in the border area. At the same time, Thailand announced the dispatch of U.S.-provided F-16 fighter jets to launch a fierce bombing attack on the command headquarters of Cambodia's 8th and 9th Support Divisions, successfully destroying the targets. Cambodian media claimed that Thai soldiers were injured in the military operation, while Cambodian troops firmly controlled the battlefield and forced Thai forces to withdraw. Although Cambodia attempted to paint an optimistic picture of the situation, in reality, Thailand has essentially been overwhelming Cambodia in the conflict. First of all, the strength of Thailand's army, navy, and air force far surpasses that of Cambodia. Even Cambodia's army is smaller in scale than Thailand's army. Secondly, Thailand leads in the field of equipment, especially in air power. Thailand's air force has an overwhelming advantage over Cambodia's air force. It is equipped with about 50 F-16 fighter jets. Although they are early models, their combat capability is definitely far superior to Cambodia's MiG-21 and other aircraft. Moreover, Thailand has supplemented its fleet with European JAS-39CD Gripen fighters. With the Air Force gaining an overwhelming advantage, ground superiority is inevitably tilted toward the Thai army. As the situation escalates, Hun Sen, who broke with Thailand's Thaksin family over a tape scandal, is now complaining that Cambodia's border areas have been shelled by Thailand and stating that Cambodian troops were forced to counterattack. From Hun Sen's statement, it is clear that Cambodia is now in an extremely disadvantageous situation. Facing a Thai military 3 times its size, the Cambodian army is indeed eager but unable to act effectively. It can only be said that despite all his calculations, Hun Sen ultimately missed a crucial step. In fact, Cambodia should have attached importance to the development of its air force long ago. Especially since the Thai Air Force has already been equipped with so many modern fighter jets, Cambodia is still relying on MiG-21 fighters to maintain its military presence, with fewer in number than Thailand's fleet, which is simply inadequate. Once the war broke out, Thailand directly used F-16 fighters to bomb the command headquarters of the Cambodian military. How could Cambodia continue to fight under such circumstances? Take neighboring India and Pakistan as an example. India claims to have more than 200 Russian Sukhoi Su-30 Mki fighters and has also increased its imports by introducing dozens of French Dassault Rafale fighters, forming a sizable fleet. However, in a recent India-Pakistan air battle, despite deploying 72 fighter jets, far outnumbering Pakistan's forces, India suffered a 5 o'clock defeat. This figure was even confirmed by US President Trump. Why did this happen? Because the Pakistani Air Force is also equipped with elite fighters. Due to US restrictions, Pakistan's F-16 fighters cannot be used against India, but don't forget that the Pakistani Air Force also has JF-17 Thunder and J-10C fighters. In particular, the J-10C, equipped with PL-15 Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missiles, played a key role in the India-Pakistan air battle. Despite not having numerical superiority, it achieved a brilliant victory. Even India's trump card Rafale fighter jets were shot down, yet India still refuses to admit it to this day, making up various excuses to deny the loss. If Cambodia could also acquire some modern fighter jets, even a small number, it could at least ensure that its defense would not be too passive. Thailand's dispatch of F-16s this time was essentially a one-sided crushing victory, because Cambodia had no combat-capable aircraft to counter with. Relying on MiG-21s is unrealistic. From a technical perspective, to counter F-16s, Cambodia would need at least aircraft on par with Pakistan's J-10C fighters. Clearly, both Hun Sen and Hun Manet overlooked this issue. Without the support of air superiority, once ground conflicts break out, the side dominating air combat will inevitably crush the ground situation. Another typical example of this is the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Although Ukraine is backed by the United States and dozens of other allies, Ukrainian forces have been consistently suppressed by Russian troops on the front lines. This is not necessarily because Russia has overwhelming advantages, but rather because the scale and quantity of Russia's air fleets far surpass Ukraine's. The F-16s that Ukraine urgently needs arrived belatedly, and their numbers still fall short of Russia's air power. Thus, it is difficult to reverse the situation. With the Russian military's air power continuing to strike, not even Ukraine's rear areas are safe, let alone the front lines. As a result, Ukrainian forces can barely launch active offensives. Cambodia clearly failed to learn lessons from the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the India-Pakistan conflicts, which is why it has ended up in such a passive situation today.